Welcome to LVT-SHOWBIZ, the place to get the fastest, highest quality, most interesting updates and new perspectives on Chinese entertainment. Thanks for watching LVT-SHOWBIZ. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to stay tuned for more exciting stories from the world of Chinese celebrities. Leave your thoughts
She didn't
in the
arrive
comments.
with flashing
We'd
cameras.
love to hear from you.
No announcement. No security team clearing the way. Just a quiet figure stepping onto a busy filming set, holding something small, something simple, yet powerful enough to stop an entire production in its tracks. And the moment Shukai looked up and saw her, something shifted. Not in the script, not in the scene, but in reality. Conversations faded, movement slowed, even the noise of the set seemed to dissolve into the background. Because what unfolded next was not part of any show, not written by any director, but something far more rare, something deeply human. Songyun had come, not as a star, not as a public figure, but as someone who cared. And what she brought with her was more than just food. It was warmth, it was presence. It was a quiet kind of love that doesn't ask to be seen, yet somehow everyone felt it. And as this simple visit turned into an unforgettable moment, no one on that set, and no one watching later online, would walk away unchanged. It had already been a long day for Shukai. The kind of day where the lights feel heavier than usual, where every take demands more energy than the last. Filming for a high-intensity program like Great Escape Season 7 is never easy. The physical challenges are real, the emotional demands even more so. Between takes, he remained focused, composed, carrying that familiar, calm presence audiences have come to expect. But beneath that professionalism, there was fatigue, the kind that doesn't show immediately but lingers quietly in the background. And then, without warning, she appeared. At first, no one paid much attention. A young woman in a white hoodie, jeans, a hat pulled low. She blended in effortlessly, almost like part of the crew. But there was something about the way she walked. Careful, intentional, holding a lunchbox with both hands, as if it mattered deeply. As she stepped closer, a few people began to recognize her. The whispers started softly, then grew. Songyun, but she didn't act like a celebrity. No greetings, no attention-seeking. Just a gentle smile, eyes searching quietly until they found him. Shukai turned, and for a brief moment, everything paused. There was no dramatic reaction, no exaggerated surprise, just a soft change in his expression, subtle but unmistakable, the kind of expression that can't be performed. He stood up slowly, almost instinctively, and walked towards her. They met halfway, under the soft shade of the filming tent. No grand gestures, just a simple embrace, quiet, real, enough to say everything without a single word. Those who witnessed it later said the atmosphere shifted instantly. It wasn't just a reunion, it felt like a reminder that beyond the cameras, beyond the roles, there are still moments that belong entirely to the heart. Then came the lunchbox. Inside were dishes prepared with care the night before. Not extravagant, not designed to impress, but deeply personal. Warm soup infused with ginger, simple stir-fried vegetables, sweet and sour ribs, and something made especially for him. Something familiar, something comforting. Each dish carried intention. Each detail spoke of time, effort, and quiet understanding. As she began to lay everything out, something unexpected happened. As the space transformed, crew members who had been focused on technical setups began to gather around. Conversations turned lighter. Laughter returned. What was meant to be a short break became something closer to a shared moment, almost like a family meal. Songyun didn't separate herself. She included everyone, making sure people had enough, exchanging small jokes, creating an atmosphere that felt warm and genuine. It wasn't planned. It wasn't staged. And that's exactly why it resonated so deeply. Shukai, usually known for his composed and reserved demeanor, seemed different, softer, more open. There was a moment, later circulating online, where he shyly offered her a bite of food while the crew teased them from behind the cameras. It wasn't perfect, it wasn't polished, and that imperfection made it even more real, so even fellow cast members couldn't help but notice. One light-hearted comment from a colleague captured it perfectly, mentioning how he seemed like a completely different person in her presence. Less guarded, more human. As clips from the set began to appear online, the reaction was immediate. Not explosive in a chaotic sense, but deeply emotional. Viewers across different regions began sharing the moment, not because it was dramatic, but because it felt sincere. Comments reflected something more than excitement. They reflected recognition, a shared understanding of what it means to care for someone in a simple, meaningful way. People weren't just watching, they were feeling. Some spoke about how rare it is to see something so unfiltered. Others mentioned how the act of cooking, of bringing food personally, carries a meaning that goes beyond words. It represents time, effort, presence, things that cannot be easily replicated or staged. And perhaps that is why this moment travelled so far. Because it didn't try to be anything more than what it was. In an industry often associated with perfection and presentation, this stood out precisely because it wasn't perfect. There were no scripted lines, no carefully framed angles, just a quiet visit, a shared meal, and an atmosphere that shifted from routine to something memorable. There were even subtle details that added depth to the story. The way she waited patiently without interrupting filming. The way he seemed to relax, even briefly, in the middle of a demanding schedule. The way the crew, often unseen by audiences, became part of the moment, not just observers, but participants. These small layers built something larger, not a spectacle, but a feeling. Later that evening, a short message appeared online, simple, reflective, speaking about how exhausting filming can be and how certain moments bring a sense of calm, of home. It wasn't directed at anyone specifically, but those who had seen the earlier clips understood immediately. No confirmation, no explanation, just a quiet expression of gratitude, and that subtlety made it even more powerful. Because sometimes the most meaningful things are not declared loudly. They are felt quietly, understood without needing to be explained. There were also gentle discussions among viewers about what might come next. Perhaps a short break after filming, perhaps more moments like this, shared away from the spotlight. But nothing was confirmed, and in a way, that uncertainty preserved the authenticity of what had already happened. It remained untouched by speculation, grounded in what people had already seen and felt. Behind the scenes, there were also mentions of how that day felt different, lighter, more connected, as if a small act of kindness had shifted the entire environment. Work continued, of course. Cameras rolled again, scenes were completed. But something had changed, even if only slightly. And for many watching from afar, that was enough. Because in a world filled with constant updates, fast-moving headlines, and endless content, moments like this offer something rare. A pause, a reminder, that even within highly structured environments, genuine emotions still find their way through. This wasn't about proving anything. It wasn't about labels or definitions. It was about a moment, a gesture, a feeling that resonated beyond the screen. And long after the filming ended, long after the clip stopped trending, what remained wasn't just the memory of what happened, but the way it made people feel. Warm, quietly hopeful, and perhaps just a little more connected to the idea that sincerity still exists. If this moment touched you in any way, if it reminded you of something simple yet meaningful, then you're already part of the story. Thank you for spending this time with LVT Showbiz. Your support means more than you know. If you'd like to see more stories like this, more moments that go beyond the surface and explore the human side of the entertainment world, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We're here to share not just news, but feelings, connections, and stories that stay with you. Leave a comment to share your thoughts, and let us know what moments moved you the most. Until next time, take care, stay kind, and we'll see you again very soon.